Hello and welcome to another one of my reviews. This time it's on the very first Figma I ever got. And this guy was really hard to get. I'm actually surprised that I got him because normally it goes for like $100, but I got him for less than 60. At any rate, that just shows you how unpredictable the world is. This is Emiya Shirou. And I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. It's very difficult to roll the U. And I have to actually adjust my camera a bit as he's rather tall. He also has a tendency to fall over, but then again, that's why he has a Figma stand for that. I won't be using the stand much in this video because it's rather awkward to readjust it and difficult to do stuff like that. At any rate, I'm going to be holding this guy pretty much the entire review, so prepare yourself to see a lot of my hands. But as you can see, the detail on this guy is flat out really impressive. His shoes, really well designed. His legs, well designed. If my camera will focus, I can show you one more detail, but his fists, his arms, just great design in general. His face, very good. He has a look in his eyes that he's going to punch you if you get in his way and stuff like that. Even though that kind of conflicts with his personality, with him wanting to save everybody. Well, he has 3 paths he can choose from. Alright, for posability, I'm going to just show you a variety of random poses, and then we'll work on his other attachments. He has excellent posability, he's a Figma, and pretty much all Figmas are good in that area. You can pretty much do anything you want. His shoulders, very good. They're pretty much posable, stuff like that. His main body, even twists, stuff like that. His shirt is pretty much made of rubber, or they like to have it soft PVC, but it's very well designed. Looks like a real shirt would when you twist it and stuff like that. It's got plenty of wrinkles in it, so it shows the kind of lifestyle he lives. His head's very good, has a tendency to not go back very far, but then again, most don't. Likes to go forward though, so you can look down pretty well. And you can actually see the joint in his back too, if you're careful. And then his head, of course, twists from side to side a little bit, but it's mostly designed to go forward and back. Alright, that is Emiya Shirou. And there's my camera acting up even more. Alright, now for the fun part. And when I mean fun, I mean really fun. Like, I just love the fact that I've only shown you like 25% of the capabilities of this guy. The rest are drawn out by his attachments and the stuff that he can do. Like if you have him in the Figma stand, which I said I wasn't going to show, but I'm going to show anyway, there is a hole in his back, and yes, his shirt has its bad part. Hole right there, you just stick the stand in it, and then you can pretty much pose him any way you want midair. Like if he was going to go do something crazy, like run midair or something like that, he could do so. Alright, now for his hands, he of course has the 2 fists that I've already showed you. He also has this thing, which comes with the Figma. Every Figma has one of these. It has his regular relaxed hands, which of course look really kind of weird in my opinion. They don't look like a normal hand would as relaxed. When you see a normal relaxed hand, they don't have their fingers spread out quite like that. It's kind of like someone would hold out their hand to you. Of course, relying on this hand facing that direction, but still, they don't look very good. Of course, the detail with his command seals are very good. Seals, spells, there are multiple ways of translating and saying that, but at any rate, no one tried to correct me on it as I don't have time for you. Here are his holding hands, which allow him to hold stuff, and of course he will be holding stuff. And his anger hands, which are basically for him, if you want to pose him trying to do something like trance on or something like that, then those hands would be very good for it. They also, to some extent, look more natural than his weird outstretched hands. So that's my opinion on the hands. You're welcome to be entitled to your own, but I'm going to be focusing on the holding hands, as I like to call them for now. Each of the hands is pretty much the same, as it has the same joint system. It is a ball and socket joint, which was later removed in the later Figmas, and it can rotate like so. Well, it's kind of difficult to show you, but you can rotate this piece. And of course, it's too close for my camera to accurately record, even though the camera was fairly expensive. And of course, the holes, the hands go into each of them. And it can be quite a pain to go put them in and out because you think they might break, and of course that's the same as the Figma itself. So in all, the ball and socket joint is very dangerous. But I'm going to get back to that in a moment. This is actually really helpful and good, at least in my opinion. Now I'm going to remove Shirou's hands, and you can actually see how they work to some extent. Really, my camera is terrible at focusing. Just pull them out with a nice popping sound. Really scares me to death every time I do that, but just wait. I'll get to the good part. And the guy, of course, has difficulty standing, so I must resort to the Figma stand to hold him up for you to see. And then, of course, I'm going to reattach the fists. Like so. And then we're stuck with his two holding hands. Now before I continue, I'm going to show you the two weapons he came with. Kensho and Bakuya. This is Kensho, this is Bakuya. Say hi, because I am slaughtering their names except for Kensho's. Bakuya is difficult to pronounce, but at any rate, these are very nice, high-quality swords. Very impressive. Very bad lighting, so you can't see them very well. And again, my camera wouldn't cooperate even if I wanted to. But at any rate, these are the two swords it came with. And an easy way to remember that Bakuya goes in the left hand and Kensho goes in the right is the fact that on Bakuya there is a red lining on it, which is difficult to see. And then there's the command spells. You get two of them, you don't get to see the third. And the red lining goes with the red command seal, and that's how it works. Really quite annoying how they translate that. And once you put it in, it's not really going to go anywhere, as it's pretty much a tight fit anyway. The hilt is actually a little wide at the end, so really quite difficult to put in. If you're not careful, you could possibly break it. And so you attach it. And a bad part of the ball and socket joint is the fact that if you are not careful, it could fall down like that. That's a problem in all the ball and socket joint Figmas, and can be quite annoying. Next, you can take these, attach them together. I'm just doing it like this because I don't want to break it. Really don't want to break it. Really don't want to break it. There are a limited number of these in the world, and I have already bought one, and I don't want to get another. Not to mention, there's probably one destroyed every couple of months or so, so there's only a limited number of Figmas in the world, because everything's finite, and these wrists have their moments. At any rate, this is Shirou with his... Well, it's really difficult to pronounce the U at the end of his name. But still, he looks very nice holding his twin swords like that. The twin swords, which he indirectly copied from Archer, who probably copied them from someone else because he did not himself make them. Even though that's debatable, I don't want to get in an argument about Archer. At any rate, before I run out of time, these are the swords. He has a tendency to fall over, and they look very nice. As for the swords themselves, they're the ones that he comes with. However, there is another sword that Shirou is capable of wielding, and that is Caliburn, which I happen to have. This came with Saber Lily and Saber armored version, and that's the only way to get it. I got it with armored version. I don't have Lily yet. At any rate, awesome sword. And when you stick it in his hand, you realize how awesome Kensho and Bakuya are because they don't wobble. This one wobbles like crazy. Also, if you want him to hold the sword with both hands, you must first come to terms with the fact that that's really difficult to do. And second, it's almost impossible. Even though it is possible to do, it's still very difficult to do so. He ends up having to hold it like that, and even then it's still a bit wobbly. But yeah, he looks pretty cool with Kensho and Bakuya, as well as Caliburn. Probably Kensho and Bakuya are the coolest. Caliburn's Saber's thing. Even though he looks pretty cool with it, he can't really hold it. He can't really pose well with it. He's not designed to hold the sword. Saber armored version is. Saber Lily probably too as well. He's a two-handed sword guy. So we won't focus on that. Alright, now for all of you that have watched and played the game Rialt Nua, which I just slaughtered the name of again, you know that Shirou loses his left arm during that route. So, let's remove his arm. Very carefully, you can remove his arm. I don't recommend trying this with the other Figmas, but you can do the same with the bride as well. And we're just going to take this piece, put it off to the side. Next is Archer's arm, which comes with him. It's a decent size. It's got a hole in the middle of it. The red piece here actually will move and rotate, which is nice. This will move. His wrist does not move, so posing is limited. Came with this dummy piece, which you can just pull out. And here comes the fun part, grafting the arm onto his body. And by that I mean you can risk breaking it if you're not careful. And getting it fully attached can be difficult. Like really difficult. Well, I have to take him off screen to do this. I'm not going to risk breaking him, so I'm going to only partially attach it. At any rate, that's Shirou with Archer's arm. And really, the only reason why they included these pieces is because that arm is so powerful and stuff like that. You just gotta show him with his face looking all distorted with pain. So we're going to take the Hand of Pain and replace the Hand of Holding with it. Either that or the fist. So he's looking quite happy now. And the only other face that came with this guy is his anger management face. But then again, the guy has to go about killing others and getting killed himself to some extent, so let's attach it. Quite ugly, isn't it? Just attach it by putting it right there. Take his hairpiece, and he looks quite weird without that hairpiece on, and just stick it in right there. I believe this review has gone on long enough, so I'll be brief. There he is, with Archer's arm going insane. Yes, Shirou, you have fought long and hard. Now stop taking up my time and everybody else's with this review. And it comes with his biggest accessory, which is as tall as his whole body. Archer's, well actually it's Berserker's, Archer just projects it. Giant meat axe sword. And of course it sticks into his hand. And there you have it. Unfortunately, it is nigh impossible for it to pose him with him projecting it, like in Heaven's Feel, simply because of the fact that his shoulders do not allow for that movement. But you can still pose him decently well with him like this. Ready to go and fight and kill and all that other fun stuff. So yeah, the potential with this figure is just pretty much unlimited. And he's a great figure to have. If you can get him, that's great. If you can't get him, that's normal. He's pretty hard to get. pretty expensive too. One of the most expensive Figmas of all time, really. But as you can see, he's also one of the most awesome Figmas of all time. I mean, it's an Emiya figure in addition Shirou, so he's awesome. Just like definition of awesome. So this is Ultimate X Exe. Subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. Really, we need like an Unlimited Blade Works chant going here, but I'll see you again some other day.